Top of the day. Saturday, September 10th, 2022, 6:29 a.m. You know what's hilarious to me? How everybody wants you to be real and be honest and, tell the truth and this and that. Like what I learned in this part of my life and in my journey is you can't expect nobody to tell you the truth if you're not willing to be honest with yourself. I mean, like raw, real honest. And with me, I know where I've been at in my life, and I know the things that I partook of in my life. And, I don't have any problem with putting it out there, the things that, that I experienced, because ain't nobody perfect around this piece. What I don't appreciate is how somebody could sit there and say, oh, she's not this and she's not that. Look at how she talk. Oh, she's so ghetto and she's this and she's that. First of all, I have book smarts and street smarts. Don't never get it twisted. For those that y'all think that y'all know me, I was on a high honor roll and things like that in school. So whatever it is, like I made National Honor Society, like Omega Sapphire Fraternity Awards and all of that type of stuff. So what I know is in order to be inducted into them type of societies, you have to have a certain mental capacity to be able even considered for that position. So there's nothing stupid at all about me. I've just made stupid decisions in the part of my life, you know what I mean? But when it comes to my intellect, there's nothing wrong with my thought processes and my patterns and what it is that I can process and analyze. So don't never get that twisted. For y'all that pass judgment on me talking about, oh, she can't be divine because she's too hood or she doesn't fit this mold and criteria. I don't fit nobody mold and criteria because I am not a carbon copy like y'all that have so much stuff to say about somebody. Y'all need to check yourselves for real. Get up off your own, whatever the heck. Stop tooting your own horn when it comes to you thinking that you're above or you're better than somebody, especially when it comes to like financial, social status and stuff like that. I might not have had a lot of money when I was growing up and stuff like that, but I'm rich in my spirit. I'm rich in my knowledge. That's what makes me wealthy. You know what I mean? Then as I get older, I'm finding out like with my mentality and with my smarts and things like that, I've also been wealthy in the physical realm. But family members, friends, so-called lovers, and people that's jealous and don't want to get out there and do it and get it out the mud, want to sit back and put false accusations out and, be all this I'm better than and oh, this bougie ass life that y'all living, but y'all fake as hell. Y'all stole what y'all have. Y'all not creative. Y'all don't have individuality. You don't have any talents or skills. You freaking ride the backs off of somebody else and then, try to pass it off as your own. So how can you really sit there and point fingers and judge anybody when y'all is robbing people just to be relevant? I don't understand that. I never will understand it. I think it's actually hilarious if you ask me. When it comes to like my family members and how like close knit they are when it comes to them all being in the same plot and schemious, scandalous mentality. My grandmother's brothers and shit like that, especially the twins, and then even my cousin Sharon's twins. Like, I don't know whether that's something that's in the family that just, I don't know. But all of y'all, especially freaking Ojeray and Bonnie ass, like, Bonnie is like, she's a prisoner advocate and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And like I said in the previous video, I met her when I was staying in Newark with my mom. I had said in the previous video that I was living in Asbury when I had went to Job Corps. No, my mom was staying in Newark with Herbert Jones. I was her boyfriend at the time. And from there, I got signed in to Job Corps. But before I even went there, we had went down to meet Bonnie, and I met her for the first time. Like I said, when I was a kid, she was sending me like literature and stuff like that from my uncle Ojeray while he was behind bars. But I had went to meet her, and I know that my uncle, I can't remember what year my uncle Ojeray had came home, but I do know that I was living in Philadelphia when he got out of prison or whatever. And as I stated, he had gave my grandmother this laptop or whatever, which eventually got freaking confiscated for the CD burning and all that stuff that my brother was into. Now, what was on that computer, I have no clue, no freaking idea. But I do know that, like, they all have a hand in tie in the cover up. See, like my Aunt Carolyn and them, like all of them is scandalous, like hypocritic Christians that, push this whole image of them being like holier than thou, and they walk around with their noses up in the air. They think that they're better than, they judge the family. How can you sit here and talk bad about another family member when your whole daughter is a whole crackhead like y'all wanted to portray me to be? She out there prostituting. She out there doing all type of shit. She out there burning people. She out there doing a whole bunch of stuff. But, based off of whose child is whose and whose children's children, you think your children are better than, just because you got one child that have all of these, scholastic academics and things like that. Like, I had them things as well. It's just at a certain point in my life, like, I had to take another direction because of the things that I was experiencing on a one-on-one in my daily living of the environment that I was brought up in. So for y'all hypocrites to sit here and pass judgment on somebody and then still be thieves and all of this other stuff and quoting scriptures out the Bible and saying this and saying that, like, how can you really sit here and like proclaim that you have a God Christ conscience when your conscience have you doing stuff that is undermining the people that you're supposed to be helping in your family? Like, you're supposed to be uplifting and motivating people in your family, especially those that do have addictions or that do have mental disabilities or that do have physical disabilities that don't allow them to go out in the world and become, who they need to be. And instead of encouraging and motivating them to want to do better for themselves, y'all just be tearing people down and sitting there passing judgment. Then y'all all get on the phone and be gossiping about, oh, did you see so-and-so? And did you see what they had on? And then y'all be riding my whole freaking YouTube page on my page and then going back and getting in freaking groups and stuff like that and commenting on what I'm putting out there. Don't be mad at me because I'm putting y'all shit out there. Y'all foul as fuck. I'm sorry. Like, it was okay and it was all fun and games when, y'all had to focus off of yourselves and, y'all found the person to take the brunt of all of the shit that y'all was doing behind the scenes. Like, y'all some clowns. Y'all some straight up clowns. You know what I mean? And then let's talk about my exes. The exes that got together with my family. See, this is how I know that I really had true intentions for any type of situation that I have gotten myself into, because that's just who I am. I was leading with my heart, But now that, like, I'm seeing y'all for who y'all really are, when I pull back so that I could recoup and get myself together and like reassess the whole situation of what's going on, y'all mad because y'all don't have easy access anymore. You can't be sitting here trying to figure out, oh, how we gonna spy on her today, or how we gonna piss in her Cheerios and all of this other crazy nonsense. Like, y'all been getting away with this stuff for years. For years, and because y'all been doing this stuff for years, like, y'all don't even know how to come up out of the illusions and the mask that y'all been wearing all of these years. So as soon as a person like me get my confidence back and feel as though like, yo, I'm tired of all of this shit. I'm tired of the lies. I'm tired of the drama. I'm tired of other family members getting hurt. I don't want family members to be experiencing the same things that I went through when I was coming up. Especially my children. Like, my children don't need none of that shit. I went through every single little thing that I went through in my life to prevent them from having to go through it. And by any and all means, if I got to protect them from y'all, and anybody else, I'm going to do that. I don't think that I'm bougie. I don't think that I'm better than, I'm not. I don't try to be somebody that I'm not. I'm not about to sit here and fake the funk. If we're not friends, sometimes I just won't say nothing to you. I just like back off of you. Or, if you catch me in that mood, I'll tell you I'm not fucking with you, and then I'll show you I'm not fucking with you no more. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't no hard feelings or nothing like that. I don't wish no bad intent on anyone. But it seems like when I find the courage and the self-confidence back within myself and I start speaking out on stuff, now I'm the bad guy. Now y'all want to go and tell people I'm a bad mother, I don't take care of my children, I'm not competent to hold down my own household and things like that, all because of the shit that y'all put into place years ago, working with the police, working with the DAs, taking all types of deals and pleas and stuff like that. Then you got these crooked ass judges, crooked ass lawyers, crooked ass DAs, crooked ass sheriffs, and everything, that have been a part of y'all shenanigery. Y'all got the freaking Notary Republic lady in trouble because of the shit that y'all been doing. Got this lady losing her freaking career because y'all went in there with fraudulent ass paperwork and shit like that. Y'all did this shit on me, my son, and my daughter, Sanique. Mark, I know what you did, and I know that Sakina and them definitely looked out for Sanique and stuff like that, and whoever else. But I know that you've been wrapped up so much into your addiction. Which you called me, like when we was talking after Sanai was born, when my mom lived down on First Avenue and shit, I'm standing there with her. I remember having a conversation with you, Mark, and you telling me, oh, you think you're better than me. And I remember saying to you, like, I don't think that I'm better than you. I want the same thing for you that I want for myself. Just so happens that you're a fucking grandfather on top of being a father, and you got grown ass kids. Like, I got caught up in that, and in that web with you, in that lifestyle that you were living at that time. Yes, I did get sucked in it based off of me being in a low vibration, me being easily suggestive and vulnerable to, just trying to escape where I was at in that point in my life and thinking like I'm leaving to get something done better when I knew better, but it just like I didn't even listen to myself. I just left. You know what I mean? And then you try to get me sucked up all into that lifestyle and then keeping me stuck. And then you sitting there going out, having all of these different sexual experiences with all of these different people and stuff like that, disrespecting me, trying to choke the life out of me, beating me up in my house and out in the streets and shit like that. And then get around certain people and acting like, oh, we just this old wholesome ass family. Like, no. And then you get mad because I was sitting there telling people about the stuff that we was going through. But because I'm getting high and shit, nobody wouldn't have took me fucking serious. Nobody was taking me serious. Just like the police in Salem, they didn't take me serious. But then I got to look at the Salem experience because you had a lawsuit with Elle and all of them same people that you took me around years later. You had that lawsuit with the police and, the setting up and the wrongful arrest and all of that. And you won that settlement. And when you won that settlement, you shitted on me. You know what I mean? You was shitting on me before the settlement even came, but it seemed like when you got that money, like you just got more and more flagrantly disrespectful. You was telling people that my place was your home and I was your sister and Sanique was your daughter and all of this other stuff. Going to the courts and shit saying that I'm an unfit parent, but all the while you're not going in there telling them that you sticking everything moving up and down Woodlawn Avenue. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. I really don't understand. But the thing is, like, you was out there doing all type of crazy ass shit. And I also remember when you told me that Jackie had died. Jackie is the chick that you used to go over, you know what I mean, and had her plotting and scheming and watching me and having people, come and walking past my house and all type of crazy stuff. And you told me that she passed away. My first thought, honestly, was, did you have a part of, giving her a hot shot or some shit like that? Because you ran your mouth so much, like you talk like a bitch. I'm sorry to say it, but you talk just like a bitch. So Jackie knew a whole bunch of stuff, just like Brenda and Detta knew a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't put nothing past because when Brenda was messing with Rashid, they was already on some old other shit when we first had met them in Camden. And then when we go to Philadelphia and bump into her there, and that's where she from, and her sister living over there, you know what I mean? I became friends with that NA community that, like, we was in, the recovery process with. But at the same time, when shit got real, and everybody just started relapsing and shit like that. But you never stopped getting high. I did. I relapsed in September of 2013. You know what I mean? But before then, I had 17 and a half months clean. So it was like, it just was a lot. But I was in that situation because that's where I was at, and I kept on thinking like, well, maybe if I do this different, maybe if I do that different, to that one day it was just like, God, I'm done. I don't even want to be in this area no more. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be in this lifestyle. And I was granted that opportunity. So for you to tell me that, oh, I think I'm better than you, and then gonna lie and tell Michelle that I didn't want you to see your children because of her, that was a total lie. Yes, it was very disrespectful how y'all children was conceived in my place. One time when I was freaking in the recovery program that I signed myself into, and then the other one when I was locked up. And then you had April and all of them staying up in my house and renting out the rooms for people to come in there and have sex. Then you told me that Rowell, I had to go to court with Rowell, but I'm in freaking jail. So how the heck can I go to court? And then you were supposed to go in there as my quote unquote man and represent. I don't know what deal you struck with Rowell to be in that place or whatever, but I know after you struck that deal with him, whatever you was doing, and then when I had freaking bailed myself out from the money that I got from my housing program, I bailed myself out. I was going to get released, but I wanted to come home and see what you had going on in my house, because I told you when I came home I didn't want all them fucking people in my house. But you was disrespectful anyway, and then you tried to swell up on me and buck on me when I came home, and I started kirking the fuck out, telling everybody to get the fuck out of my house. You try to fucking sit there and talk about I'm embarrassing you and all of this stuff, and then you started trying to talk down on me and embarrassing me because I was running away your free sex sessions and your free drugs. That had nothing to do with me. Everything that y'all have done from that moment, because when the sheriffs came to the house after you had got locked up for that fucking crazy ass money that you was making in the house, that fake money that you was making and shit, they finally had came to the house in February, and they told me I had 15 minutes to get my stuff and leave. Now, mind you, that whole time it had snowed for about damn a week in Philadelphia. So I'm out there pregnant with Sinai, with 2-year-old Sanique, with a fucking push cart and your book bag with the tools and the little bit of clothes and shit that I had on my back with me and my baby. And we left from there. You know what I mean? I forget the light skinned chick name, but I just seen her on a freaking clip on social media on a short dancing in fucking Philadelphia, in northwest or northeast freaking Philadelphia. She lost so much weight and she out there, like, I feel bad, but then I gotta look like that's the life that she still choose. But I do pray that, you know what I mean, people that are out there in the mixed of addiction, like, they can really overcome that shit, because that shit ain't no fucking joke, man. Like, I feel blessed to be able to have been saved from that life, because I could be out there right now, still out there looking crazy, or even worse, dead or in jail some damn where. I had children that I had to freaking come back to be responsible for. But then when you want to sit there and gang up with these people that ain't about shit, to come up against me, to do all of this false ass shit, to steal from me and your fucking children, like, yo, you should be ashamed of yourself. And then you got your other children involved in the shit. You lying to them and telling them, like when you told Saisha, because like once I got clean, I went and, on Facebook, and I fucking friend requested your older children so that our children could know their older siblings and shit. And then Shamar was living in the building because he was messing with Michaela, which is Denise Smith's daughter. And I don't know, like, I don't even know how that whole situation worked out, but I was seeing Shamar every so often and stuff, and he would come down and visit the girls or whatever, and then something happened to where they moved, or however that went down, I don't know, and then we had ended up moving from out that building. But Saisha was like, yeah, well, my dad told me that if any women came and said that they had kids with them, they lying. Like, for you to be such a fucking coward as a man And to tell your children some shit like that and not want to own up to the children you out here fucking out in this world, like populating with. I don't care if you feel as though you're embarrassed of me. Like, you were the biggest fucking embarrassment in my life. If you really want to be technical, me being with you was really a fucking downgrade, if you want to be honest. But I'm not going to sit here and insult your character like that because you're somebody that I chose to be with. But don't never get it messed up. Don't never get it twisted. Don't never think that you could sit here and shit on me because I'm still in a better predicament than you are. And if you did get yourself together and if you did decide to clean your life up, kudos to you. But if you out there still doing that fucking gay ass shit, and then that's another thing. You want to sit there and say all of this crazy shit about me. You not telling how you and Charles was fucking, how you and fucking Dwight, like, come on, like, I think you even fucked Trudell if you really want to be technical. And I know that you fucked Sakina and Daryl together, the freaking founders of the program, Everything Must Change Through Divine Light. And whoever else that you were sleeping with, because you lived in a house full of all of them men, Soto and Otis and all of them. So for you to sit here and try to really like shit on somebody and spread all these rumors and shit like that, why you ain't out here telling all of the shit that you out here doing? All the diseases that you out here carrying. How you was out there fucking shooting up with the needles and shit like that when I thought that we was out there selling the fucking needles. I find the shit in your motherfucking pocket and it was used. Type shit. You talking about, oh, I just keep them on me so that if somebody asks me, do I got work so I can sell them? No, nigga. You started intravenously shooting that shit the fuck up. That's what the fuck that was about. So for you to sit here and the majority of the people that you hung around was intravenous users. So, I wouldn't put it past none of that. And there was another thing, another reason why I got away from you, because I ain't want to fucking die, because you was out there spreading it thin with people that's in and out of cars. Even though I had my experience with me selling my body, like, I did have a level of respect for myself when it came to the sexual interactions that I was having people, even giving oral sex. I would tell them, like, yo, I would be much more comfortable fucking doing what I gotta do with a condom. So, like, you're not about to sit here and be trying to make me out to be like just no out and out just whole slur. Like, yes, I did what I did, at that point in time when I was doing what I was doing. But you're not about to, none of y'all. And if you got Stephanie, Dwight, or any of them, or Brenda, or Odetta, or Rowell, any of y'all that was out there in Philadelphia, even if you bumped into the guy that I had tricked with, David Lowe, the person that came to me in this present clean moment saying that he wanted to marry me, and then I'm looking at him like, what made it so different? What made you want to change? Because he came to me in April of 2019 talking about, not April 2019. It was April of 2020 talking about he don't know why he left and all of this other stuff. And that may be the truth. But I also got to look at it too. Like, many a times when he said he was coming here to come visit and stuff, after he done spit out that whole spew, he'll say he in Tennessee, he there, he everywhere, doing all this other stuff, And then, I don't know. But it just was something that sounded a little bit off with that situation, especially now that I'm working on myself. Like, I'm not going to count anybody out. But at the same time, I'm not about to sit here and be like with a big ass sucker stamped on my forehead. Throughout all of my trials and tribulations, I've learned a great deal of lessons in my life. And one of them is don't be nobody damn fool. I don't give a fuck what you talk about out your mouth. Actions always speak louder than words, and energy never lie. So, with that being said, I don't know what the heck people be doing behind the scenes, but I know I can feel that y'all motherfuckers be out there talking about me like a dog, saying all of this crazy ass shit and wishing my downfall. I don't wish on nobody downfall. I don't even care what y'all got going on, like whatever it is, you know what I mean. As long as if it's going to be anything, let it be positive, uplifting, and motivational to yourself and somebody else. That's the best advice I could give, because that's all I want to do. Be a good listening ear, and a good problem solver. If I could freaking, you know what I mean, then it is what it is. But I'm not about to be sitting here faking jacks like I don't see what the heck is going on, like I don't know what's going on. Just like I could call my exes out, I call my family out, I call myself out. It don't matter, because the only way right now in this present moment is being authentic, and that's point blank period. And really raising the vibration of yourself and the planet. So kick rocks at whoever don't like it. I really could care less. Deuces.